listening to the Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technological advanced silhouette decoys on the market. And Vortex Canada, the force of optics.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 112 of the Union 0430. And we've got a great guest tonight. If you're not following this dude, you need to get on the socials here real soon and check out, because we're going to talk about some of the epic hunts he's been on. So we've got Matt Judy coming to us from the great state of Washington. But introduce the boys. Phil's still in Port Perry and Dave is still in Kincardine. Yeah, so just us tonight. Mark and Ryan are actually out on the scout because early season starts for them tomorrow morning. So they're looking to put some geese to sleep tonight and watch them. And Matt, oh yeah, go for it.
Is it early season for the part of Ontario now too? Tomorrow?
Yeah, for Eastern.
Eastern.
Eastern Ontario starts tomorrow. So like Logan, McNulty, and those guys along the Ottawa River, they'll
Central Ontario.
Central?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't read the regs for this year yet because I don't know.
I'll take your word for it.
So happy early goose season, boys.
Yeah.
For the ones that can.
Yeah. Well, when I reached out to Matt and we were trying to figure out a day, I was like, well, how about this day? And he was like, nope. That's the season starts that day and I'm going to be busy. So I ain't doing a podcast. I was like, okay, we got to figure it out. So we decided on tonight, and so back-to-back shows for us. We did a show last night, and we're doing one tonight. So, so all good, Matt, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Like I said, it was Bobby Hayes from Ducklander Calls that told us to reach out to you because he said this guy to be an awesome guest to have. So I got to thank Bobby, but again, man, thanks so much for coming on.
Heck yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, no worries, man. I got to tell you, I've been watching your videos the last couple of days. And here's the question. Here's the biggest question I've got for you. Do you guys have a fucking factory out there for widgeon? Because I have never seen so much widgeon in my life.
Yep. I would say we have like one of the densest widgeon populations probably in the whole country. Like it's just it's unmatched. It's unreal.
It is fucking insane, dude.
Widgeons are to Washington as blacks are to Nova Scotia.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew it. Like I'm watching your videos and it's just widgeon. I was like, holy smokes. And then that video of that 10-man with the 2 Eurasian widgeons, I was like, holy smokes, man. Like this is insane. Yeah. And pure cotton tops at that point too, right? Like when you're shooting them, like as white can get. Yep. So yeah,
January, all fully plumed, like it's the best you can get. And yeah,
road
trip. Yeah, that's a long road trip.
In all the years I've been waterfowling, I've seen one widgeon get shot.
Oh, I've shot widgeon.
One get killed.
In case people haven't picked up on it yet, the only reason we invite certain guests on is so we can go hunt widgeon or black ducks or whatever with them.
100%. We had a guest on a couple weeks ago. I can't remember who it was now. Oh, I think it was Ira McCauley from Momarsh, and he was telling us all about that. No. It was Micah Collins from Kansas, and we had him on. And I told him, I said, Micah, I've got to be 100% honest with you. The only reason why we have people on the show is that we build friendships so that we can come hunt with them at some point in our lives. And he was like, yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. So yeah, you're 100% right, Dave. So coming to us from the Pacific Northwest. And you know what? I've got to admit, not that I'm extremely well versed on all of the waterfowl hunting areas down stateside, but the Pacific Northwest is not what I would consider or what I thought would be a glorious spot to hunt. But I'm watching your videos, man, and you guys have some banger hunts up there.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's kind of like you said, it's not the first place you'd think of when you think of waterfowl hunting in the States, but
Hmm.
it's kind of like a hidden gem. It's getting more on the radar now, but we have birds and mild winters and early migrators come down in October, and we can kill anything from October to January. So it's kind of a little honey hole up here. And it's I hunt my hometown too. I didn't. This is like home ground that I grew up on. So
That's
it
impressive.
makes me cool.
I would think that I would think hunting up in the Pacific Northwest, though, much like I grew up on the East Coast of Canada. So you got to be a pretty tough hunter. And I know it rains and it's miserable everywhere in North America when it comes to hunting birds, but it's a little bit different up in the Pacific Northwest. Like there's more rain than sun.
Yeah, exactly. It's on a whole nother level. Like when I tell people I hunt in the rain, I'm like, I'm talking like 4 to 5 days a week.
Yeah.
You're hunting in the rain. Like,
Yeah, big time.
It's not a drizzle either. You're stomping through mud and it'll rain an inch on you. And then you just kind of get used to it growing up here. But I tell people, like, if you're going to come hunt with us, like bring your rain gear, because it's going to suck, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, it's going to rain. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The rain is coming.
100%.
A good day. You'd be lucky if you get sun.
Yeah, exactly.
I lived in BC for a while, so I know the climate. So just north of you guys. But yeah, so I really wanted to do this, and I normally don't do it. Our buddy Mark usually does it, but I got to try and see if I can figure out how to share this screen. So can you guys see that now?
Yeah.
Because I want to show this, like, I fast forwarded, like we're at like the 3 minute mark, just over the 3 minute mark. And I want to just show, like, this isn't a great, like, look at all the birds that's already down. Now watch this. Come on.
Oh, like that's just dirty.
Yeah, look at this though.
That is just dirty.
Like I'm watching this and you're right, Matt. Like I'm listening to, because I can hear you talking to your buddies in the blind the whole time, right? And you guys are like, what are we going to do? Like, we've got to get these birds up out of here. Like we've either got to walk them.
It was so many birds. It was like overwhelming. Like you just don't know what to do. Like ideally you'd want like a flock of like 100 to 500, but it was like this right there nonstop for like 20 minutes. And we were just like, I don't know.
So there's that one. And then I wanted to show this one, because I think this is probably the best shot call I've ever seen. I think that's it.
Yeah, it'd be that one.
Watch this. That's a massacre. That's what that is right there.
Yep, those were all widgeon too.
Jesus.
So
for those that just listen to the show, this is where it pays to like and subscribe and watch the channel.
But so just watch it and listen to the shot call. Like what a perfectly timed shot call that is.
That comes from experience.
Yeah. Buddy, that was, I can hear it in the background. You want to walk them out?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I had to show that, because it, like I'm watching and I'm just like, holy smokes, that's insane.
I'm glad we filmed that one. That video was like, we've been on hundreds of widgeon hunts like that, but that one was like, to me and my buddies, even to us was like a whole another level that we've never even experienced with stuff like that. And one of the Euros, like my buddy literally watched it come in, watched it circle, picked it out, shot it out of the air. Like that doesn't happen too often. So that was pretty cool too.
So do you ever find that, like, because we're watching that and we're seeing these ducks flying and circling you and stuff, and they always say, like, filming a hunt like that, it's very hard because a camera is like an extra set of eyes that you can't really hide because they're pointed right at the ducks. Do you find that flares them ever, or? Or you got some little tips and tricks or secrets, huh?
It doesn't flare them. I would say it doesn't at all.
Yeah.
You know, because in that video, I had I was in my layout, my camera was like outside of my mesh, just up sticking on its own, and they get so if you get that many birds working, they get so overwhelmed with themselves they don't even notice where you're hiding really.
And by the time they do notice,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah.
Too late.
Exactly.
What I didn't show on that video was the at the very beginning when you were talking to your buddy there and mentioned, we finally got permission on this last night, and he said we thought that this was going to be a roost, but when we come back, there was no birds on it, zero birds on it at night. So can you imagine walking or driving up and seeing 2,000 birds in the daytime there and knowing that it's not the roost and you can come in at night, set up, and you're in for that smasher that's buddy, that's insane. And
unreal.
I haven't seen numbers like that since Saskatchewan. So that's pretty crazy. I wanted to talk about this though, because you're up in Pacific Northwest. No Harlequins this year, right? Did I hear that correct? That they're taking off the
correct. They're off the table now for this season at least. Gone.
Is it just because of the number? The numbers is just not a healthy population, or
I wouldn't quote myself on this, but from what I heard and read, it was that the harvest numbers got over some certain threshold number that they had set, and then so harvest went up too much and they shut it down.
What was it like? What's in years past? What's normally your bag limit on Harlequins?
It's one a season. So you can only kill one per season. Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, smokes! I thought you were able to get
no, it's very minuscule, nothing. I'd never even killed one. I'd been sea duck hunting a few times. I'd never seen one. I never targeted one, and all of a sudden they're gone. So I can't now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, one a season is very, very minuscule.
That is minuscule, but that tells me that if you're saying only one a season, then obviously the numbers are not anywhere near where the managers want it to be, right? They're being very, very conservative on their limits, right? So wow, exactly. That's insane. I never knew that. One bird a season, which makes them even that much more special, in my opinion.
I don't know because you could go up to BC, I won't say exactly where I'm at, but I'm very close to the BC border. So you could pop over to BC and still kill them, but you can't shoot them on our side, which is basically the same bays and the same water. So to me, it just kind of doesn't make sense,
Well, and that's, I don't know if you've heard this yet, but and I don't know if we figured it out yet, Dave or Phil. I don't know who's saying it, if it's the American side or if it's the Canadian side, but we've heard as well that you can't transport birds back to the state. I guess it would be stateside that's coming up with the rule, because if you come up to Canada now and hunt with a guide or freelance or whatever, you're coming to Canada to hunt. You can't bring any harvested birds back across the, which I know there's scientists that make these decisions and they're a lot smarter than what I am, but I also know that birds don't recognize the border between Canada and the United States. So
whether they're flying or they're on a plane flying, they're still flying.
So I don't really understand the logic behind that. And I'm working on getting somebody to come on the show to explain it.
Explain it. Yeah.
But I
just because you have a university degree doesn't make you smart.
Well, I'm sure there's some science behind it, right? Because ultimately, I think decisions are made sometimes. How can I put this? Decisions are made to try and not impact anything financially as much as possible, if that makes sense. So for them to make that decision which affects the Canadian guides, because let's face it, Canadian guides are getting 90% of their customers are coming south of the border. It's not Canadians that's going to these guides. So if these fellas aren't able to bring their birds back that they harvest up with a Canadian guide, I would think that the Canadian guide is losing some business.
Now,
is that logic?
Isn't it taxidermy as well?
I have no idea, buddy. I haven't heard.
Could you imagine though? Like, yeah, you can't bring taxidermy back, but some fellow that shot one last year, like the Beauty Harley, and you've got a taxidermied in Canada, can't bring it back now. Like, I know the taxidermists would probably wait, but I don't know. I got a lot of questions that I want answered. So maybe if one of our listeners knows, drop a little comment down below. If you're on Podbean or any of that stuff, like the listening stuff, come on over to the YouTube and put a comment down, because that's it's easier for us to interact with the YouTube side of it. So, but yeah, I'd like to know that. Yeah.
So, and last week, when we done the show, so I had posed this question, and sorry, Matt, here's one of the tangents that we go off. So I had said on the show last week that, I had been watching social media, reading all the reports and everything, and everybody is saying what a great hatch we had this spring for our numbers. But then I think it was Delta Waterfowl came out about 2 weeks ago saying that our teal numbers are down across North America. Teal numbers are down, and there was a couple more species. And I was like, boy, I thought we had a great hatch, and now you're saying our numbers are down, and I couldn't figure it out. So not sure who Outdoor Man 365 is, but he chimed in on the YouTube channel and explained it to me, and now I look like a bit of an idiot because I didn't know this. But so the numbers that Delta report on the population numbers, those are off last year's hatch. So that's why the numbers are down. So this year's hatch, those numbers won't reflect the population until next year. So I didn't realize that. But anyways, thanks for chiming in and letting me know, so I didn't have to lose any more sleep trying to figure out the answer to that question. But Matt, I also and just because you're such a, like, you've got such a strong social media presence, I was watching your story. So Goose tacos today, is that what that was?
Yeah, I got them in the crock pot right behind me. Yeah.
So, buddy, I'm gonna make them. So now the only thing, and I'll ask you for your opinion on this, is I don't have any breasts now. So I usually ground up all my breast meat, right? So I would think if I just took the ground meat and thrown in there and just use the same ingredients the same way you done it, would still end up being the same way, I would think.
Yeah, it'd just be a different texture. It'd probably taste the exact same.
I would think so. Yeah. So I was watching it, and the part I liked was add a little bit of lime juice, and I was like,
a shitload.
I was like, yeah, that's a lot of
two limes. 2 limes later.
It was crazy. It was like the bottle, like, just the juice, and it was like, and add some lime juice. Just fucking lime juice. It was like good.
Watching my kids put Mio in their water.
Oh yeah. It just
squirt a little or squirt the whole fucking bottle.
That's awesome.
Good. I've given them to people and not told them what it was, and they just think it's beef. Like there's no gamey taste to them or anything at all. It tastes like a
lime.
It tastes like lime.
Watered down with lime flavor.
Well, it tastes like key lime pie, actually.
Hell yeah.
With a hint of margarita.
Matt, so I know you told me that next week, so next Thursday, is it your season starts back up?
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah, the 3rd through the 8th.
Okay.
Our early resident honker season.
Right.
And it's looking pretty decent right now. We had a really good feed lined up, and it's just been dwindling for the last week. So I don't know if they're running out of running out of food, or it's also been it's been like 90 degrees all week. I don't know if that's got messed up, but it's been all over the place. There was like 700 in there last Wednesday. Monday there was 300. Yesterday there was 138.
Oh shit.
Last night there was 30. This morning there was like 250 in there. So they're just kind of, I don't think they're going like somewhere else to feed. I think they're just like filtering on and off, and it's just random at times now.
I think they're just toying with your emotions.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Before Saturday.
Cobra chickens. What's your, like, what's the corn outlook looking like on your side? Because everything I'm hearing from the Midwest is that corn is down. There's next to none being grown or harvested this year. And you sort of kind of alluded to it where you said, I don't know if it's food and if they're moving off, or like what are they hitting? Are they hitting wheat? Are they hitting beans, corn?
These ones we're looking at, or that we're going to be hunting on Saturday, are in a spinach field. So
Jeez.
very, very weird. I've never seen them in a spinach field before, but it's not like spinach for consumption. It'd be seed spinach. So I think they're eating the little seeds left behind the combine, but usually they're in wheat in our area, and that's about it. If you're not on a wheat field, you're not killing them. Like, you cannot get them off those things.
I got one for you. If you think spinach is weird, I hunted Prince Edward Island last year and they're eating fucking potatoes there. No joke.
They eat potatoes. That's one of our main fields we hunt, is potato fields here.
I've heard guys hunting
really
watermelon fields and peanut fields.
I could see peanut fields.
Watermelon.
That's how they're gonna get me, is a watermelon field. Watermelon's fucking delicious, right?
When we weren't,
I can just picture Dave
laying half naked in a watermelon field with.
I don't even have a knife handy for like dramatic, like
busted fucking watermelon all over me.
We were in Afghanistan, and believe it or not, that it's one of the fruits that's grown there, right? So you could be driving down some fucking dirt road, and there'd be water, and there'd be watermelon growing, right? So imagine this, like, you're in that country, and you know your asshole is puckered all the time when you're driving around, because you never know when someone's going to try and shoot you or blow you up, and yet you're eating army rations all the time, right? So you're just craving some real food. And you're sitting in the back of your carrier and you're ripping down the road, and then you hear someone stop. You don't know if you're about to get tacked or nothing. And somebody's jumping out to grab watermelon in front of you just so that you can have something different to eat. And here you are in the back of a fucking vehicle cruising down the road, and the boys are cutting up watermelon. And which, once that hits your system, after
you're done.
Oh, you're done. Find me a toilet, right? Like, I need
or fallen log.
Oh, buddy, just nasty.
Hot watermelon too.
Oh yeah, hot water.
It's not even like room temperature. That's fucking hot watermelon.
Yeah. Like 60 degrees Celsius. So like what's that?
Like
130 degrees Fahrenheit. Like
comes out of you about the same temperature.
Okay, we don't need to go any further with that. That was just a little story for you, there, boys. That's all that was.
Like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah,
like I thought this was a waterfowl podcast.
Yeah,
who signed up for this?
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Should have probably watched a couple episodes before you agreed to come on. But this is
format.
You signed the waiver.
Yeah,
yep, I agree to it. So fuck
but yeah, but ultimately, so what have you got? You've got 10 days, I think, if my math was correct. That's what your resident honker season is. 10 days.
I think it's
6. Well, my math fucking sucks. So 6 days, and it's only and I get it. It's only residents or the ones that are hanging around right now. Migration haven't started. But what are you looking at? Like, I know you're saying you've got a feed and you've been watching that, but are you seeing a lot of birds in general that's hitting the parks, hitting the golf courses, and the normal spots that are normal nuisances?
Yeah, it's about just average what it normally is. We always have a lot of birds for our early season. I mean, There will be feed there's usually like 4 different feeds of anywhere 500 to 1,000 geese in each one.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty spread out, but like, so we don't have a lot of grain, like very minimal grain fields here. And if we do have wheat fields, it's like a cover crop to a potato field or something. So there's so the way it goes here, there's like maybe 5 wheat fields in the entire county. And if you're not on one of those 5 wheat fields, you're not killing geese for the entire week. So it's like a fucking war zone for these, early geese. Everyone in the county's hyped to start killing them. We always make it work somehow, but so it's pretty tight competition. Everybody likes hunting in the fair weather too, when it's
of
80
course
degrees out killing geese. So after the early geese, everyone kind of falls off, but
and yet you're hunting with a pretty big crew too, right? Like you got 10 guys. Like I've seen a couple of your videos now. You're hiding 10 guys that to do a smasher, like
8 to 10 people almost every single hunt all season.
That's insane. 8
and they're
to 10
all
people.
like real close friends too. It's like not like any outs. They're like my really good friends. So we have an awesome group, and I love being able to have that big of a group and have the success that we do at the same time also.
So that's what I was sort of kind of getting at, is that like I'm watching your videos and seeing 10 man limits and stuff like that, and I'm just thinking like that's insane to try and hide 10 dudes. I don't think I've ever been on a 10 man hunt, like 10 people hidden in a field anywhere hunting.
The first Punisher camp.
Really?
Yeah, there's 14 of us the second day.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I don't think I was there.
Oh no, you got a little inebriated the night before.
Oh, that happens.
I remember that one.
Yeah, that happens.
We had 14 in the field, and I was like, how the fuck are we hiding this many people?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Make your own tree line.
Well, yeah, make your own hedgerow.
That's basically what we do. You're so big, it's like easier to hide, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it do. If you look at it, like, so I know on that widgeon hunt and on that little hole, you guys were in your layouts. But like, are you strictly layout hunting, or are you panel blinding it, hedgerows?
It's so muddy here where you usually layouts, if you put an A-frame or a panel blind up, you're just sinking to your knees every time in mud.
Wow.
So it's easier to hunt out a layout. My hunting style too is I hunt underneath or inside the spread, basically, under Canada socks as a hide most of the time. Most of the time,
right,
my hide is the tall Canada socks. And so it's pretty different style that not a lot of people up here are doing, but more people are starting to.
Well, yeah. So what do they say? The imitation is the best form of flattery, right?
Yeah,
Go,
exactly.
Dave. Sorry.
Well, no, I just thought a little bit of education. Like, so when you're hunting that many guys, are you putting your blinds as close together as possible, like touching them? And then is that kind of the best way to set up?
Pretty much,
with 10 guys, right?
Yeah, there's like zero space between us. We stack them up as tight as you can, basically. And one of my downfalls too is I absolutely cannot stand brushing blinds. I hate it. So I've tried to perfect the fine line on what you can get away with on like shitty brushing.
I get you.
You know what I mean? Like how bad can I brush this blind but still kill a limit? That's
he's the guy that brings the straw bale to every hunt and just like throws it over top of the blind.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
I'm not getting out because it's gonna fuck this up.
Just pull the barrel up.
Yeah, not moving his feet, not doing nothing, just sitting there mummified in his blind, right? Refusing to move. But it is impressive. Like, so if you're and I was curious about this watching the video. Are you taking video from your phone or from a GoPro?
It's a camera.
It's a camera. It's a camera setup. And so how are you set up so that you're able to film that and shoot? Like how are you set up? Is it on a tripod behind your layout?
I hold it in the blind.
Oh
myself. I think almost that whole video, I was filming, and then when it was my turn to shoot, I was handing it to my buddy right to the left of me.
Okay.
So we go back and forth, kill our birds, and then
Right.
do whoever's got the camera duty for a little bit. But yeah, I don't use a tripod or anything. It's all
Okay.
just hiding in my blind, and you sacrifice shooting your gun to get videos, but that's how I've
Yeah,
been
to
for
get
a while, so it's just kind of
well, it works. It's obviously not hindering you and putting birds down. So, and you guys and that's a good, it's impressive. And I know, everybody misses sometimes, but when you guys are shooting, you're doing some serious damage to flocks when they're coming in. So all the fellas are shooting in their lanes, or it appears to be this is a crew that you've hunted with for a long time. So you've said 10 people, you've all good buddies, so you've hunted together for a long time, so everybody knows their jobs, really. Because if you look at your hunts, there's a lot of birds falling out of the sky, so obviously the boys know what they're doing, and no one's stepping outside of their arcs, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd say it like that. We've hunted together for so long that you just don't question anybody and what they have to do. It's just kind of like a well-oiled machine. Everyone knows what to do. You don't have to remind anybody of anything, and everyone's really good shots, stays their lane, very safe all the time too. So it's not throwing a crew of 10 random people that have never met each other, doesn't know how they act in a field. It's complete opposite of that. So it helps out a lot that we've been hunting together, for so long.
We have a lot of that here in Southern Ontario.
Well, Phil, remember last night, we done the show last night, and that was one thing I brought up. I don't know. I think every time I hunt now, there's always somebody new that's hunting with me. Or I shouldn't say always, but the majority of the time. And I've always got to do that spiel. And it's not insulting anybody's intelligence. It's just, hey, listen, pick a bird.
This is how things run. You don't like it, there's the parking lot.
But pick your lane, pick a bird, stay in your lane. Don't worry about I'll pick a bird, you pick a bird, shoot. No need of all of us trying to shoot right into the middle of the flock or anything like that. But that's something that I've got to say all the time. Wait until I say, once the dog is out, everybody put their gun down, all that stuff. I've got to go over that every time I go hunt, but you've got a crew and you've said you guys stick together and that's your crew, and there's really no outsiders. So the good thing is you don't have to repeat that saying every goddamn time you go hunt, right?
Show up to a field, throw the spread out, lay down, and that's about it.
Start pouring coffee and lighting cigarettes.
Yeah.
Do you guys always have the same spot? You're the middle guy and there's the left-hand guy, the left-hand guy, the right-hand guy, or do you switch it up every time?
I've never even thought about it, but now that I think about it, most people, we all kind of stay in the same line every time we'll drop our layouts. I think it's subconsciously too.
Yeah, of course.
So used to it.
Superstition.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm always in the middle because that's the best camera angle, and then you have your guys who prefer the right side or the left side, but never really say it. They'll just go there. Yeah. So I've never even thought about that, but we definitely do stay in the same lineup every time.
You got to think though, when you're getting 10 guys that width, the ones that are coming in from the left, the guy in the center has a shot at. The ones that are coming in from the right, the guys at the center have. I see what you're doing. The camera angle.
Yeah, except I have a camera in my hand and not a gun.
There's the odd time where if I'm doing a shoot and we have someone new in the group, are you left-handed? Oh, you are? Down to the end you go.
Yeah.
You get outcasted to the far right.
I hate
So what are you doing? So what's your plans this season, Matt? Are you traveling, or are you sticking strictly in the state of Washington?
I'm traveling a fair amount this year to do some filming, I think in 5 different states or so, but
awesome.
It'll be home a week, gone for 4 days, home for a weekend to hunt here. So I'll be hunting here and hunting other places, but not for an extended stretch of time, just a few days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Can you say where you're headed, or you'd rather not? And it doesn't matter to us if
I
you
would-
say I'd rather
I
not.
wouldn't say it, but it's for Dive Bomb, the company.
Okay. Okay.
I'll be traveling with those guys this year,
Okay.
so I'm pretty pumped for that. But
Yeah, I bet.
lots of. I've hardly ever been outside of Washington, so it'll be new to me. But lots of filming, and it'll be awesome.
Awesome. No, good.
Nice.
That as my dad would always say, if you think I'm jealous, you're right.
And those new I forget what they call them, like the seats with the ghillie blind might get you a little tighter there too.
Oh
Have your
yeah,
big-
Those
the
dive bomb
kick-
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen
we
those.
We hunt out of those a lot. Oh,
Yeah.
underneath the socks. Yeah.
So the ghillie, like, is that what it's called? The ghillie blind? Do you still grass that in, or is that kind of one of the benefits? Just because it looks like
No,
it's
benefits of those ghillie blankets is that you don't have to. They have stubble straps on them, but like for the most part, people will just throw them out, and not even brush them at all. I mean, you can add like a little natural vegetation to them, but most guys just don't. Because
Really?
you can
Yeah.
still just kill as many birds without add. Just like I said, I find that fine line where you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish Mark was on the show tonight, because that would have been fun to have the two of you talk about hiding, because that's two absolutely opposite ends of the spectrum between you and Mark, because Mark is that was his thing. Excuse me. That was his thing. Always his thing. I'll look after the blinds. I'll grass.
He is the grasser extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's always at least one of them dudes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 100%. So yeah. So traveling with Dive Bomb this fall, going to travel, do your milk run of hunts and content. Now, the filming that you're doing, the content you're doing, is that strictly for social media, or and buddy, if there's something that's top secret and you can't say it, just tell me to shut the fuck up. But
or say it.
yeah, or say it. But like, is it for social media? Is it for Dive Bomb and your social media, or is there a series coming out, or is it for their YouTube channel? What's the end goal here with all that filming?
It's mainly for their YouTube vlogs that they do all season long.
Yeah.
And just gathering, because there will be a couple of us, one guy running a camera, one guy running a video camera, so still pictures and vlogging at the same time. So getting stuff like we do, or Dive Bomb does most of their photos in house, so we collect product shots, like whatever, while we're traveling, while also filming YouTube videos. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think just this year I started making my own full-length YouTube videos, so be doing a few for them, and I'm thinking I'm going to pump out a few of my own for my personal channel again too, just to keep that going. Will obviously be less on my personal side this year, but I mean, I'll still have time to crank out some personal videos too.
What are you running for equipment, Matt?
Sony A7 III with a short lens and a long lens, and then also a Sony Handycam video camera. It's like a NX80 or something like that. Decently, not top of the line professional equipment, but like right in the middle there.
Nice.
So do they like? I assume Dive Bomb set this up for where you're filming and when you're hunting, right? Do they set like, okay, we're going here this week, or is it kind of like we're going to start here and then we're going to kind of follow the migration, or how are you guys running that?
It's pretty scheduled out. We have a whole calendar full of stuff blocked off already.
Yeah, good.
So it's not like show up somewhere and go where the wind blows. And lots of hunting with outfitters too, a little bit of freelance, and just kind of all over the place.
And now there's a bunch of people that's listening to this. They're either watching it on YouTube or they're listening it on the podcast software that they have. But I have no doubt in my mind that there's somebody, and there's probably a lot of people going, man, that's the life right there. Just traveling the country, hunting. And don't get me wrong, it is the life. I am extremely jealous of you, but it's hard work.
Oh yeah, it'll wear down on you.
And I've never, like, I've never had the opportunity to do it, but I have been in company with a bunch of people that have done like those filming hunts and trying to get, especially that B-roll content.
yeah.
And like, it is not easy to pull these videos together. Like when you see the end product, it's not just as simple as just turning on the camera and letting her go. There's a lot more to it. And Phil, I know you do a ton of still frames, and Dave, I know you're getting in the video work as well. But Matt, like for you to go as a company that's established and have their YouTube channel and all their followers that's following them, I would assume that the content that gets put on that channel is nothing but the best. And it is, fine tooth comb, gone through, make sure everything is good. No issues whatsoever. It's a fucking process to be able to put something like that together. I can't imagine. I've only heard the stories, right?
Yeah, it is the best of the best. Besides the YouTube stuff, we try to keep that more on the real side, not like just kind of like raw stuff, not
Right.
hiding anything or whatever, showing the bad stuff and the good stuff. But yeah, if you're talking for posting on social media for an actual, company well established like them, it's the cream of the crop, best of the absolute best stuff you can put out there. And if you mess up, you'll hear about it very quickly.
Oh, I'm well, and rightfully so, right? Like this is the company's name, and
yeah,
and let's face it, we all know, despite your allegiances, and you could be a fan of whoever, it doesn't matter, but somebody is just waiting for you to mess up so that they can jump all over you. And
even on like me, like on my personal stuff, or being, how large it is, there's people sitting there waiting for that one.
Yeah.
I'm always like watching what I do. I'm like, I cannot fuck up, or somebody will call me out on it. Somebody will call a game warden on me, like literally anything. Like you're on such a big stage that people are just waiting to shred you.
Absolutely. And you think about that. So like if I look back at some of the people that I've met over the last, let's say 2-3 years, Dave, and I know you've been privy to these conversations too, right? And people have put out content and they'll show up, they'll get their camera out and they want to do this and they want to get the content and they want to try and build a name for themselves, get a following. But then they do something, like they'll do something asinine, like and stuff that's so blatantly wrong, and then they get called
Shooting
out
over your dog's head.
Well, and you get called out on it, and then they get upset. Well, listen, it's a double-edged sword, right? Like you can use the platform to make yourself famous, but the platform can make you famous for all the wrong reasons as well. So I couldn't even imagine having to sift through the amount of footage that you have to in order to make sure that it's nothing but the best and the best quality. And I'm not saying you're out there doing bad things, but there's always something. There's always something that someone can fucking complain about. And even if it's, well, why'd you set your decoys like that? Like, that's stupid. Well,
anything.
Anything. Because someone's going to complain about something no matter what, right?
But smaller things like that, like I'm not saying it's small to shoot over the dog's head, but like that's kind of where some of these guys are like, oh, I'm going to push the limit and try and get something to go viral. And that's where some of these newer guys, you got to watch, right? Like we can post a video of shooting just a regular hunt where it's like pairs coming in over and over again, and it's not going to get anything. But then we do one little thing that's controversial or on edge and it becomes viral. And then other people see that and they're like, well, I'm going to push the edge too, just to get that quick viral video to get the followers to pay, right? So that's where it's, man.
Like some say, even bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sometimes someone's gonna get hurt from it too, right?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of bad publicity. Not my gig. I know, Dave.
Well,
like,
in fairness, bad publicity is cheaper than paying for publicity.
Gets names in people's mouths.
Get manure on your lawn, maybe.
Oh, that would suck.
That's a story we'll talk about that after we're done recording, Matt. We'll fill you in on that one. You'll have a good chuckle at that one. But no, you're right, Dave, because we had done that show last night and we had talked about Ben Heron. He had come on the show and he's an 18-year-old kid who's doing very well in the calling circuit, headed out west to guide for his first season this year. And, chatting with him last night and he's saying, and this is coming from an 18-year-old kid, mind you, and he's saying how social media, it could be the downfall of the waterfowling world because of stuff just like what you said, Dave, where somebody, they don't care about what it is that they're putting out into the world. All they care about is the count of followers or views that they get on a video or on a picture or on a post, right? So, when you're doing your thing, Matt, and you're being as meticulous as you are and making sure that is nothing but the best, and then the same with the gatekeepers at Dive Bomb, right? Like they're not taking any risk, right? Like they want no bad publicity whatsoever. So you've got how many sets of eyes combing through your content before it's approved to go up, right? And then this little asshat is purposely putting up what he knows is wrong.
Yeah, on purpose, just
to get those likes, right?
Trying to get his name on people's screens,
Yeah,
like that, which is totally opposite of how I came up.
Yeah.
I just picked up a camera one day and I knew what we were doing was so much different than anybody else in the country. I was like, man, people need to see this. Like nobody's seeing what we're seeing right now in these fields, and this has to be somewhere because I want people to know what we're experiencing. So I bought a cheap camera off Craigslist for like $200, learned how to use it, and then all of a sudden here we are now. Yeah, and it's just crazy how it happens. But I think TikTok days where you can blow up overnight too.
Well, and I think that's the big thing, right? And I think we can all agree that the humble beginnings, right? Like when you say it like that, listen, we're into something that's pretty special, and I think people need to see it. That's as genuine of a reason to do something that I could think of. When you're saying, I need to make this so that I can be famous, probably doing it for the wrong reasons. Now, and I'm saying that as the person that came up with the idea for a podcast so that I could be on YouTube and on podcasts and people would know my name and know my brand and stuff like that. So maybe it makes me look somewhat of a hypocrite. But at the end of the day, I and Dave, we talk about this all the time, and we try to fit it in as much as we can, is that we try to give back to the community as much as we can, and we try to make everything we do as much educational as we possibly can. Sometimes you can't make everything educational, but that was our goal. It wasn't so much to be famous. It was to try and give back to, listen, we've been really blessed with the people and the friendships we've made over the last 2 years. not because we've done anything special. We've literally come on with a show, and we've had Phil, Merck, and Ryan come on, and it's just 5 friends that just get on and talk about bird hunting. But we want to give something back, and it's the same with you, right? You just wanted to share your experience.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I was hoping that it would bring me more ducks, you know.
Well,
like some dudes go on and yeah, never mind.
Well,
send snoods.
Send snoods. Yeah.
Well, but let's face it, like I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't looking for an invite to come hunt with people, because that's ultimately the reason why I started the company way back when I did, is because I wanted to meet more people so I could go hunting instead of getting told no every time I knocked on a farmer's door to ask for permission. I was getting tired of being told no. So
And
the only way
Grinder wasn't out yet.
and Grinder wasn't out yet. That's right. It's 2022, buddy. There's
$20 is $20.
$20 is $20. You're absolutely right. So, yeah, no, I get it, buddy. And I think it's, you know, for somebody like you, Matt, to say, you got a camera off Craigslist for $200 and you were just like, man, nobody is doing what we're doing. That's as humble a start, I think, as you could hope for. And now look at you, like you've got a very, very strong following on social media. Your videos, your hunts, like I said, man, I'm like, is every goddamn widgeon in North America coming through the state of Washington? Because it certainly fucking seems like it.
Yeah, there'll be grass fields here with anywhere from 5 to 8,000 widgeon in there without a single mallard.
That's just nuts.
That is insane.
Yeah, you can go on a widgeon hunt and you can literally not see a single mallard all day long, or any other kind of duck. It'll just be 100% wedge. And I don't know, it's just something that's like I'm so addicted to it. Like it's hard for me.
I bet. And especially when you're hitting them in like December, January, like their heads are so white. Like I've looked at pictures today. You had some pictures on there today of widgeon on snow, and the caption was white on white. I don't think I've ever seen a widgeon head as white as those were on that hunt. Do you know what I mean? Like I've never witnessed anything like that. And I'm sure Phil and Dave haven't either, because we just don't see it here. Well, Phil's never ever seen. I've shot widgeon, not a lot, but I've shot them. Yeah, I've shot a drake and I've shot a hen. But
I've seen one killed. I can't remember who shot it.
But we'll see more
like
gadwall.
This is years ago, and it was shot out of my 12-foot aluminum boat. But I would like a nice big stud widgeon to go with this guy.
That's like the one I shot last year.
Yeah, you shot one last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I couldn't show it publicly, but it's a perfect shot.
Mm-hmm. It just, you would have had to do 2 mounts for it. That's the only problem, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sew the head back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't remember that picture?
Oh, perfect. Man, I was so disappointed too. And like, I was part of that last year. It was one of the birds on that Southern Ontario Waterfowl Slam.
Yeah.
I was like, I see it come in and I'm like, as soon as it's ready, I'm popping that thing. And it came in just perfectly. And it was maybe a little closer than I thought. And I shot it and then went out and grabbed it. And I'm like, oh man. So I sent the photo to Rich himself. I'm just like, Rich, I don't want to post this publicly to the group saying, look, I got this bird off the list. And he's just like, yeah. So we kind of talked about it. And then, yeah, nobody would mount it for me. So.
No, I don't imagine they would.
Yeah. So
Matt, buddy, we're getting close to that 60-minute mark. So we'll start to wrap things up. But I wanted to, because we were asking you questions, mostly me, and then the boys chimed in. But is there anything that you wanted to get out there? Is there anything that you know this platform can do to help you, your social media, whatever? If so, here's your chance to put it out there to the millions and millions of people that listen to our podcast. Not really.
I think he's frozen.
Oh, he is frozen.
What?
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's not my fault though.
Elon.
Not my fault.
I was gonna say, like, what's his Insta?
Oh, he gone.
we lost.
he gone.
Matt.
He might jump back on though. His Insta
That's no good.
is Insta, and I'll bring it right up. Oh, hold on. I don't want you seeing my
Ceasefire. Pornhub. What?
por favor. Let's
Tabernacle.
you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Right. I just want to say for all the millions of listeners that should be watching and not listening, all three of us have First Light gear on today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just saying. Just throwing it out there.
Like I said though, that the Arrow wool is the most comfortable thing that I wore for the last 6 weeks. So,
Dude, I am not joking. And here's our First Light plug for the show. I don't know if Matt just messaged me, said his Wi-Fi died.
Well, here, we'll plug this. The ground control bag.
So I'm going to tell you, Dave, and I know you've told me in the past about these Arrow wool t-shirts, and I haven't done. Oh, Matt's back. Okay,
Carry on.
hold on. There he is. It's all good, buddy.
yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, show's over. Thanks for watching.
So Matt, when you froze up there, when your Wi-Fi died, I had said we're at around that 60-minute mark, so we're going to soon start tidying things up and signing out of here. But I wanted to give you the opportunity for anything that you have on the go that you need to, that you would like to use our platform to bring some attention to. The time is yours right here. So whatever we can do to help you, to our millions of fans, go for it, buddy.
I really don't got much. Just I really don't know. Go out there and
plug your socials and plug your
kill
YouTube
some
too.
birds. Follow me on social media, YouTube. I'll be on dive bomb videos this year, my own YouTube channel and Instagram, posting, starting this Saturday until mid-February. So it's go time, and I've been waiting too long to get back after it. I love filming. I love showing people what we do in a good, positive way. And if anybody ever has questions for me or anything, I'm always answering my messages. I hardly ever read or leave anybody on red. I'll help out new hunters, whatever. I'll tell you exactly what to do to kill them. Anything. That's what I got.
So Matt Judy, MattJudy, Matt Judy on Instagram. And you'll be able, once you get him on there, you'll be able to follow him everywhere else, because all of his information's right there in his profile. Yeah. So please go check him out. I promise you, if you've got a hankering for some killing of widgeon, I don't think anybody's. I've never seen anything like it on.
You'll see it on my page and about nobody else's.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So if you're listening and watching, and you're like, man, I wish I knew what they're talking about, these widgeon hunts, go check out Matt's Instagram and you'll see, and then go check out his YouTube. So lots of great things coming from Matt this season. I'm gonna be keeping a real close eye on you, buddy, and watching and living vicariously through you. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, we'll tidy things up here. Phil, to you, buddy.
Wish you all the best this fall. Looking forward to seeing the trips and the travels. Through your YouTube channel. Like, I actually recently watched your widgeon hunt, and yeah, just an absolute banger. Yeah, looking forward to seeing more great content from you, man. All the best.
Heck yeah,
David.
Yeah, Matt, good to meet you, and I don't know, keep it up. It's fun to watch some of that shit going on. So keep doing it the way you're doing it, and don't do that trying to get 100 million followers from one viral video, man. Keep doing it.
Hell yeah, dude. I appreciate it.
Last word to you, Matt, buddy.
Got nothing. Just thanks for having me on, boys. It's always a pleasure talking hunting right before it gets started, meeting new people. Even if it's not in person, it still counts. So
Absolutely. And we never said this when I extended the invitation, or nor have we talked about it before the recording of this, but you're sort of kind of expected
To take us on a hunt.
that to come back on around the end of the season, if you don't mind. We'd love to have you back on, buddy, and chat and find out some about your travels across the states this year. Are you making it up to Canada at all?
Yep, we're going to Saskatchewan in September and Alberta in October.
Ooh, so yeah,
looking
boy.
forward to it. Be
buddy.
all over. I should have some stories by towards the end of the season. So that'd be fun.
Absolutely, buddy.
Where in Sask you going?
He's not going to tell us.
I can't say.
Not gonna tell us. But
Anyways, in the central, mid, north, south, right?
Yeah. Regina.
That's Phil's heading out. Phil's heading out to Saskatchewan, so maybe you guys will high five one another on the highway or something like that. Matt, buddy, thanks so much for coming on, dude. I know you're extremely busy, dude, and the season's coming up, so I know you're scouting and you're getting everything ready. So for you to take some time and hang out with us, we really appreciate it. And again, we're really looking forward and hoping that we can chat during the season or after the season, whatever it is, up to you, and get you back on and tell some funny stories. And I'll be watching your social media and everything, buddy. So I'll be watching. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is the Union 0430, episode 112. We are as advertised. We will never pretend to be experts. We'll never pretend to be something that we're not. We are a bunch of friends that love hanging out and talking about bird hunting, shooting ducks and geese, and bringing on new friends to introduce to you. Until next episode, big love, surround yourself with good people, and we'll see you soon.